Let's see if y'all ass is clapping after this. All right, listen. So some of y'all were with me during the lunch, and for some of y'all have read my grandmother's hands, and I didn't say that for an applause line or anything like that. But and I have to tell people, that book meant a lot to me, but I'm not my book, right? I'm a little rougher than the book, and so some of y'all came to this workshop thinking that this is going to be one of those workshops where it's going to be really soft, and I talk like this a lot, and I'm like, I can understand and just, hey. That's not what this is going to be. Okay? So all of my work is around embodiment, right? And so I start off, so the word soma or somatic, right, or soma, comes from a number of different places. The first reference point for me is soma, as in the Swahili word means to educate, to draw out, to inquire, or to learn. It's a Swahili word, soma, right? Another one is soma, as in the nucleus or the core of something, right? And then another definition is soma, as in the body. That's where most of us know the body, right? So to me, if I combine all those things together, it really is about how do we learn to inquire and educate ourselves around the core pieces of our bodies and understanding. It is not just understanding the physical body. It is understanding the body as it relates to creation itself. I'm going to say that again. It is not just the physical body, arms, legs, maybe I don't have arms, maybe I don't have legs, maybe, you understand what I mean? It is not about ableism or whether or not your body is able or not. It really is about how do you position yourself in relationship to creation. When I talk about blackness, I'm talking about the principle of blackness, not just pigmentation, not just nationality, not just where you come from. I'm talking about the principle of blackness. The principle of blackness is the principle of emergence. The blackness of the womb. The blackness of space. The blackness of the ocean. The very first representation of humanness on this planet was a black woman. All of you have the mitochondrion of her. Else you ain't supposed to be here. Blackness as emergence, as possibility, as things that happen in blackness, and over time something else emerges. It is principle. So when I'm talking about the body, I'm talking about what gets in, when I'm talking about somatic abolitionism, I'm inquiring into what gets in the way or what has gotten in the way of emergence. What thwarts it? How can I be curious about what things are present and what things aren't present that should be? Here I am standing in front of you as a self-identified man in a black body. And there are certain things that have happened in and around and to the black body, this black body, and bodies that I came from. Those things didn't just happen individually. They also happened communally. So only developing an individual response to a communal horror is inadequate. Are y'all tracking me? Most of us develop in our practices, we're very good at individual pieces. We don't know how to be with the stuff that has charge. And our clients pick up on the fact that we have left a room around certain things. Dissociation, you know how we were all trained in one way or another that dissociation is like bad, right? No, nobody will ever say that, right? But that's the way we were trained. Dissociate, she dissociated, they dissociated, they shouldn't have dissociated, right? But if you understand race as having a 500-year-old spring-loaded charge. Do you guys understand what I mean? The concept of race has a spring-loaded charge to it. Before you talk about any other oppressive systems, race has a charge. And we all know it. That's why we don't want to talk to certain people around race, about race. Because we know the charge. We know that the charge is spring-loaded. We know it will overwhelm. Are y'all tracking me? We are unconditioned to deal with that spring load. And as most therapists, you haven't been conditioned to work with the charge of race. That's why you want to talk about anything but that. Everybody tracking me? Not defective. Dissociation is a protective response, not a defective response. I'm going to say that again. Dissociation is a protective response, not a defective response. If you lived on a land for eons, and then you meet another group of people, and that group of people starts to exterminate you, it is not safe to be in your body. It's not that they just start to exterminate you, one person. It's that they exterminate your connection to creation itself. They shoot the buffalo for no fucking reason. They pollute the water for no fucking reason. They go to one place and they eat and take and extract all of the resource for no fucking reason. They don't move. They have an ethos around ownership. And you have an ethos around stewardship because you see yourself in direct connection to creation itself. And then that came face to face with ownership. And guess what won? As you just heard me say that, those things, that's what's called a somatic elicitation. I said something, and it elicited something somatically. When I'm doing my work, when I'm training, I'm trying to get people to begin to slow down enough and begin to track what started to happen, what shut down, what constricted, what opened. Do you guys understand what I mean? If you don't pay attention to that, then you will slip into dissociation when something same or similar shows up in your practice. If you are not practicing it communally, it's not available to you communally when you're in your practice. In bodies of culture, visibly melanated bodies will pick up on it as inauthentic. And you say, but I saw a workshop with Resmaa. And their bodies are saying, I don't give a fuck what you did. You feel off to me. You're kind of weird. Do you guys understand what I mean? That's because reps. You don't have enough reps. And especially if you're a white body and you're working with bodies of culture, I don't give a shit how many DEI, I don't give a shit how many black women you done date, I don't give a shit. It does not matter. You don't have the communal muscles. And that's what bodies of culture, visibly melanated bodies, pick up on. The absence. Our very survival depended on not believing in what you say, but what was the vibe? Y'all tracking me? You cannot fake the vibe. Don't care if you liked Prince or Michael Jackson. Don't care if you like Charles Barkley. You guys understand what I mean? All of that shit does not matter. If the work you're doing is really work around healing, you are literally talking about liberation. Some of you got therapy confused with liberation work. Some of you have conflated that to mean the same thing, and they're not. The things that people come into to your office with, and you think is just a particular prescribed thing, and you're like, but there's something else there. The something else there is the spring-loaded 500 years of legal. I come from listen to this. Me, right now, I come from a people that were legally raped in this country for 250 years. Some of y'all, this is the first, you didn't hear this in your master's degree. Do you guys understand what I mean? I just told you that I come from a people that were legally raped for 250 years, and it impacted the birth rates of children now. It's impacting the uterine fibroids in black women now. Right now. It's impacting the uterine fibroids of indigenous women right now. Once 50 million women and men and children and two-spirits were on this planet and they did not look like me. They were on this land and did not look like me. There's less than 7 million of them. And you don't know what the fuck to do with that when it walks in your room and doesn't say that that's what they're dealing with. If they don't tell you they're dealing with that, then you don't even broach it. You act like it's nothing. It's a throwaway. It's an addendum because you're looking for events. Are y'all tracking me? You're looking for what happened. I just told you what happened. You don't know what the fuck to do with it. So you dissociate. You dissociate. Y'all tracking me so far? I told y'all your little assholes was gonna shrink up when I start talking. I tried it. Listen. I've been doing this 30, 35, 40 years. If you can't handle it, walk your ass out. Go. Shit. Don't come up to me afterwards and say, can we talk for a minute? Nope. No, we can't talk. I'm not debating your ass. I'm not. This is the way that I see it. My wife bought me a t-shirt. My wife bought me a t-shirt about 3 years ago. And she said, I got you this t-shirt. I think you're going to like this t-shirt. So I got the t-shirt. I look at it, and this t-shirt says, I'm not for everybody. Yeah. Yeah. And if you believe in liberation, you ain't either. If you believe in therapy, you're for everybody. You've been conditioned to believe you got to be everything to everybody. Liberation is a different calling. Some of us are doing therapy work and we have a sense that there should be more here. I should be doing something. I feel like I'm doing something else. It's not quite captured in this therapy thing. I feel like I got to retrofit myself into this therapy thing, but I have a sense that I want to. You are. You're trying to retrofit your fucking eons of genius into a structure that has never known what to do with you. That's the pull. You're trying to fit liberation and address the shit that has happened and continues to happen to people into your understanding. This is why in some of the places you work for, they don't know what you're talking about. Some of you are in organizations right now where you keep trying to fit your liberation into the structure of that organization and you dying. Some of you wake up with the ethos in your head that I'm gonna have to choke a motherfucker today. I'm gonna choke her. If she say that shit, I'm gonna choke her ass today. That's your integrity. Not letting you sleep. Nothing's going wrong. That gnawing is your integrity. You've been sick, that's your integrity. You ain't defective. You're not crazy. You're not. What the fuck you think is happening is actually happening. And you are unconditioned to hold it. You literally have to get conditioned. All right. So this workshop is going to be different than probably any other ones that you've done. Okay? So y'all see this weird shit up here? I know some of y'all keep looking back over there. You listen to me, you looking back over there. Listen. I want y'all just to look at it for a second. Just look at it, those of you that have been avoiding it. Some of you are trying to figure out, what does this mean? There's actually sound that goes along with this, but I'm not playing the sound. I don't want this. I just want you to deal with the image. When I do these workshops, a lot of times these workshops, when I do these workshops in my own time, these particular workshops are like 16 hours long. Okay, because we're doing stuff. We're actually working with the body stuff. I'm not just giving you tips. So, as you notice those pictures, one of the things that happens is that they're kind of weird, they're kind of off and putting things together that ain't supposed to be together. And what that does is it allows me just a little bit of room to work with some things, right? One of the things that I tell people is that when some of the reason why some things keep happening over and over and over again is because a lot of times we get very good at some pieces. And when we get good at them, there's no more room. There's no more room. So when I was doing couples work a lot, I would have couples come in, and when I would say to them and call them leftovers, one of the things that I was getting at is that When you first get together with a person, you get to decide the things that you don't want to do and that you are going to do that that make you nervous. You say, well, I don't really like to do these particular things. I don't like to do this. And if you love me, you wouldn't make me do these things, right? We develop an agreement. We don't have a handshake. It's just like, ooh, she gets kind of squirrely when I do that, or ooh, they get kind of, do you see me? And you stop doing those things, right? So you get to decide to do that, and then your partner gets to decide to do that for themselves. And then you just do what's left over. That's why your fucking relationship is so boring. You guys understand what I mean? Because the only thing that you're doing is the only things that you do are the things that your partner will validate. The only things that, do you understand what I mean? And vice versa. So after 3 or 4 years, you're bored to fucking death. Because what it takes now is to say, well, I really used to like doing that. And then growing parts of yourself up when your partner goes, that's nasty. Where'd you learn that? Don't bring that shit in here. Your sense of self starts to begin to be churned. Do you guys understand what? We think something's going wrong when that happens, and we also think something's going wrong in our clients when that's happening. That's why we're so quick to give them tips. Because we can't hold it and allow things to churn and smash up against each other as over time, and then in the blackness, and then emerge something else. We don't know how to do that. They get nervous, and we feign like we ain't nervous. You literally, part of being in an adult relationship is literally doing the shit you don't like to do. The shit that you like doing, you already did it. There's no more room there. You literally have to do the shit that you cannot stand. Am I making any sense? Some of this might be too hard for some of y'all, but my Bible said, my Quran just says that the boundaries of your growth have been curtailed by what you acquiesce to. The boundaries of your growth have been curtailed by what you acquiesce to. So when there's certain things that you have said and have set up, this is nasty, this is not workable, a good person wouldn't do that, that's usually the boundaries of your growth. And most of us don't inquire any further. We stop right there. We don't work with it ourselves. And so when our clients need it, we don't know what the fuck to do with them. So we give them tips. We give them homework. We give them exercises, right? And when they come back and they ain't done none of them, they're now resistant clients. And we don't see we set the whole thing up. The work I'm talking about is about us growing as people that can contend with race, that can contend with the oppressive systems of transphobia, of homophobia, of ableism. We are not there's none of us that have had to condition ourselves, even if we got masters with this shit. All right? So we get ready to play now. Let me show you how this race thing works. So this resource, this thing will continue to be up on the screen. And I want you to just, when shit gets a little rough, I want you to just look at that. Maybe you'll find something. Maybe you fucking won't. I don't know. Okay? So here's what we're going to do. Everybody stand up, put your notebooks down. And I want you to take the middle chairs, push them off to the side, y'all. Just so help, take all of the middle chairs, push them off to the side. Yeah, just the middle chairs. Just the middle chairs. Take all of the middle chairs, push them off to the side. We're going to use the middle. Y'all can help. Right. Yeah, just move it. No, it's all right. All right. Once you're done, just get in the middle. Actually, on both sides, move some of the chairs off to the sides, because y'all gonna need room. And then come back to the middle once you're done. All right. All right, everybody. Come on to the middle. If you need more room, then put some of the chairs off to the side, but come on to the middle. Well, there's a lot of people. Hope y'all got your antiperspirant on. Somebody get ready to get funky. All right. So, we're going to move, okay? All we're going to do is I'm going to just have you walk around. If you want to wiggle your hips, you can wiggle your hips, okay? And then when I tell you to stop or I tell you to do something, do something. This ain't going to be no weird shit, okay? Yeah. Okay, this ain't gonna be super weird shit. All right, start moving. Just start walking around. Come on, come on, come on. Come on. All right, stop. Just stop. Just notice how many of you feel really awkward right now. How some of you are experiencing just having a little 50 cent come on a little bit. That just helped a little bit, just a little 50, right? Just notice that, okay? Notice if there's a difference in, that's not just feelings, because as human beings, we work with vibe, we work with image, we work with meaning making, we will work with urges, we work with behavior, we work with texture, right? It isn't just cognition. Imagination is a literal intelligence, okay? Just notice what you're experiencing right now. All right, start moving again. All right. Y'all can move some of the chairs back if you want to. Y'all look like sardines. All right. Okay. Notice you're starting to hear more laughing. Are y'all noticing that? This is, oh, okay. Are y'all noticing you're starting to hear more laughing? Okay. More movement, there's more, a little bit more life in the room, right? You know, people are starting to get to a point that it's like, I stink, but you stink too, right? So it's all right. It's all right. We're gonna figure it out, okay? Just notice that. We're just moving. We're just playing with this thing of resource, right? Notice how it's kind of heating up. The coldness is kind of like warming up a little bit. Y'all notice that? I want you to pay attention. If you need to look at the thing, at the weird thing, go and look at the weird thing. All right. Keep going. Uh-oh. Hey. I go on and on. This is the instrumental, by the way. Hey, Kate.
I'm the new CEO at the Meta.
Oh, yeah. Good to see you. It's good. It's good to meet you. Okay. All right. All right. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. Just notice. Breathe. Okay. Remember when I said 500 years of charge, right? Most white bodies in this room are descended from white bodies that were fleeing something. And most of the things that they were fleeing were other white bodies. The Dark Ages and the Middle Ages was a fleeing, a trying to find resource, trying to find reprieve. When we're talking about the Crusades, the Inquisitions, witch burnings, that body got damaged and brutalized for over 1,000 years, and it never got tended to. That never got tended to. Notice as I'm saying that what's happening. Now, pay attention to the next thing I say. Notice all of the laughter. Notice people starting to, there was a little bit like more room. So we talk about room all the time, right? When I do this next thing, I want you to pay attention. This is how race is so much a part of who we are. Just pay attention to what you notice. What I want you to do now is I want all of the visibly melanated bodies to come forward, and I want all of the white bodies to go to the back. Please don't ask me what group you fucking supposed to be in. All right. If you want to be in the middle, you can be in the middle. I don't give a fuck. Visibly melanated bodies on this side, white bodies on this side. Do what you're going to do. All right? Now all I want you to do is look forward. All I want you to do is look forward. At any point, you can switch sides. We live in a world structure by which the white body deems and has deemed itself the supreme standard by which all bodies' humanity shall be measured, structurally and philosophically. This is not some shit that I created. Resmaa didn't create this and pull it out of his ass last week. We live in a society and a structure and an organization by which the white body deems and has deemed itself the supreme standard by which all bodies' humanity shall be measured, structurally and philosophically. If you don't understand that, all of this shit will confuse you. That deeming can move, and white bodies can move that designation anytime they want to. Irish people ain't always been white. Italian people ain't always been white. They are now. How did that fucking happen? As a collective, white bodies have no interest in answering that question. They don't tend to it. They don't come back to it. It does not make it to dinner table discussion amongst white bodies. I'm not talking about your friend Lakeisha. I'm talking to her at work. Among white bodies, notice what it's like for you who knew somewhere or another that I'm white. I didn't make any choice. I didn't say you got to fit this color in order to be white. You knew it. You never talk about that. What is it like to look across here and look at these eyes? Just look across. Track what you're noticing in your bodies. Bodies are culture. Track what you're noticing. Is it a whoo? Is it a fuck? White bodies, what are you noticing? This has got nothing to do with your niceness or your kindness or the fact that you're going to be voting for Kamala. I know that's not how you say it. I just did that on purpose. Don't fucking come up to me later. I saw it in your eyes. What are you tracking? What's tightening? Did the cadence in your thought speed up? Did you dissociate? Did you leave? Are you here? Did you go? Not defective. Places of inquiry. Collectively, white bodies do not inquire as it relates to race. You may do class stuff, you may do all kind of things, not as it relates to race. And so that charge shows up. That combined with 1,000 years of brutality that you never dealt with. And when white bodies developed the idea of race from the notions of species, the term race was used to denote, before they had grafted it onto race, was used to denote species. A race of dog, a race of bird, a race of cat. And they took that same thing and made it pseudoscience on pigmentation. Just notice if you've dissociated. Notice if your body's wanting to. White bodies, take a step back. White bodies, take another step back. White bodies, leave the fucking room. No, just joking. White bodies. I was trying to stop myself from saying that. All right. Notice if some of you are really tight right now. Notice if some of you are mad. I ain't take your purse, I ain't take your wallet, nothing. Some of you, just notice. Just pay attention. Bodies of culture. Take a step forward. Bodies of culture, take another step forward. What are you noticing? All we're doing is playing. This is called proximity work. All we're doing is playing. Notice there's no right or wrong. There's no, oh, that's it. It's just playing. Are you tightening up? What are the emotional pieces that are starting to come online? Have you left already? Have you said, Resmaa, stop fucking doing this shit? Bodies of culture, take a step backwards. Good breath. Good breath. Good breath. Good breath. Good breath. White bodies, take a step forward. Charge, weight, texture, annihilation, purge, push. Y'all might as well just sit right there. Or you can come over here, wherever you want to do. Come over there. Yeah, no, come on. This looks like... Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Did y'all see the eyes when I said, no, y'all stay over there? It was like, what the fuck? We know what this race shit is, right? It ain't just cognitive. This ain't just cognitive. Y'all, we want to act like we just need to talk and we just need to figure this out and we're all human. We know what this is. You have to cultivate the muscles that it takes to literally hold this shit. Work with it. White bodies take another step forward. I want y'all to notice the difference now compared to when the music was playing. Is there a difference? I ain't did shit to y'all. I haven't done anything to you. There is a difference. There's a difference. And this difference exists all over the world. Hawaii, India, Australia, where wounded people went all over the world and never tended to their wounds. And now it looks like capitalism. And now it looks like missionaries. And now it looks like education. Decontextualize trauma over time. Time decontextualizes trauma. Trauma decontextualized in a person can look like personality. Trauma decontextualized in a family can look like family traits. Trauma decontextualized in the people can look like culture. Trauma decontextualized in a culture can look like nature. If you don't tend to it over and over and over again, it will, over time, will decontextualize it. Just the march of time will pull you further away from it. You guys understand what I mean? And it gets passed down. We learn from our caregivers by what their bodies recoil from and lean into. If you've never seen or experienced a lynching, does it mean that your lineage wasn't advantaged by lynchings? Lynchings allowed white bodies to take land. White bodies take a step back. Let me say this to y'all. If y'all need to tap out, if there's somebody that needs to tap out, you can sit down. You can turn around and look at the weird shit. White bodies take another step back. Bodies of culture take another step back. Bodies of culture take another step back. Good breath, good breath, good breath, good breath. Just breathe. We're going to take some time with this, y'all. Every identity that white bodies are, black bodies, visibly melanated bodies, are also those identities. There is no identity that a white body is, that black bodies, visibly melanated bodies, indigenous bodies are also those things. This is the piece where I tell white bodies, I'm not interested in your oppression story as a way to get you around race. If you are in a trans white body, your subjective experience is different than a black body trans person. Y'all tracking me? It is not the same experience. White bodies want to use their oppression stories to get around the race pieces. White bodies are poor. It is a different experience being poor in an indigenous body. You are advantaged by being in a white body because the whole structure is predicated, particularly on a white male body being the standard of humanness, not just the standard of just like, oh, the hierarchical piece, the standard of humanness. It is a species question. White bodies, I want you to turn to each other, turn around, turn to each other, and I want you to break down into groups of threes. Bodies of culture, I want you to turn to each other, break down into groups of threes. Just stand there. Introduce yourselves, say what your name is, introduce yourselves to each other. What time you got? All right. Okay, let me get your attention. 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 All right, here's what we're going to do. I want you to take your triad, your three people, and you can do it in here, you can do it out there, you can find some place to sit. And I want you, before you say a word, I just want you just to sit with each other, okay? I don't want you to launch right into the story, okay? I want you to sit with each other, take maybe a minute, 2 minutes, just sit. Just be there and sit with each other. And then what I want you to do, there's one question I want you to ask, okay? What did you notice? That's it. What did you notice? What did you notice vibratorily? What did you notice emotionally? What did you notice image-wise? What did you notice? Don't go into no story, well, when I was 5 and my mama told, just cover, and I want all three of you, got 20 minutes, okay? Just what did you notice about you? Not what did you notice in the thing. We can talk about that when we come back. What did you notice about you through this whole thing? Okay? See y'all in 20 minutes. 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. Okay, everybody. Ooh, shit. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. All right. Okay. Come on in. All right. Y'all can either sit where you at or you can grab a chair, wherever you want to do. All right. Okay. So, can somebody close that door real quick? Okay. Everything that we're doing today has a purpose of inquiry. That's the whole thing. Whenever I'm doing my work, it's all about nibbles. It's not about gorging. You might get overwhelmed, but that's not the point. I'm not trying to overwhelm you. I'm trying to get you to pay attention to what shows up. I had somebody come up to me and they was like, well, I didn't know where to go. Stay there. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. Stay there, nibble on that, and return to it. Okay? I got mad. Stay there. Come back to it, nibble, and then go away from it. Okay? I tell people, I can always tell when people are like playing with, like, if you notice I say play a lot. And the reason why I say play a lot is because that's the quality it's going to take in order for us to build another culture. It is not fixing. It's not remedy. It's the cultivation of room. Are y'all tracking what I'm saying? It's playing with this stuff. It's not looking for the answer. It's, oh, this showed up. Let me pay attention to that, and then over time see what emerges from me paying attention to that thing. Are y'all tracking what I'm saying? This is a lot different. Like when I say nibbles, when I say reps, when I say conditioning, that's exactly what I mean. There have been people that have been taking workshops and doing stuff with me for years, and then all of a sudden we'll be on a call or something like that, and they'll go, "Is that what you meant 2 years ago when you said da 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 da?" I was like, "Yeah, I can't tell you this. This is an emergent thing." Are y'all tracking what I'm saying? So here's what I want to do. If we go, well, I'm not interested in going through everybody, so don't everybody raise their damn hand, right? But I am interested in you kind of like, what was this like? Like, what did you notice that surprised you? You know what I mean? Like, what did you notice that like, I want to choke the shit out of Resmaa. I didn't expect that. Like, or this, I notice that I leave. Like, I just, right? That's not defective. That's not defective. It's just uninquired. You have to keep coming back to that shit over and over and over and over and returning to it over and over and over again. And this is especially going to be difficult for white bodies because the returning to it literally causes you discomfort because you don't have the muscles. And when I say that, please don't nobody come up to me when this is over talking about, well, Resmaa, my father marched with Martin Luther King in the 19th. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like that's not gonna get us anywhere. Return back to this over and over. Well, Resmaa, I've been trying to get my uncle to stop voting for Trump. That's not it. We literally have to create a culture that can hold liberation. We don't have the muscles. Don't come up to me when we're leaving trying to talk to me and debate me about, I'm just going to look at you like you a damn fool. Especially now that I done told you don't come up to me talking to me about this shit. I know it. Please hold this shit. It's good for you. Don't feel good, but if you keep coming back, your children are going to learn from what you recoil from and what you lean into. What you're trying, the audience for liberation is not the audience on this timeline right now. Look around this room. Anybody in this room, this is not your only audience. Your audience is literally your grandchildren's children's children's children. Literally. What are you putting in place that they can be nourished by? That's it. I'm not talking about your religion. I'm not talking about your culture. I'm not talking about your nationality. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about liberation. Abundant, radical hospitality and generosity, and then some fuck shit happened. We have to deal with the fuck shit so we can reclaim the pieces that got hidden away and that we had to put away and that we had to protect in order for us to survive. When the fuck shit happened, we had our peoples had to put the most precious parts of them away. And now we have enough space to reclaim those pieces. Do you understand what I'm saying? We got to stop acting like we just need to get in a room and talk to each other. Did y'all see what the flavor was when the white bodies was over there and the bodies of culture was over there? You can't talk that shit through. That shit has to be grown up. That has to be matured. Am I making sense, y'all? That has to be matured. We keep devolving into these ideas. Oh, we should do this or we should do that. And we've had a 500-year-old experiment with all the things you just said. We need to act like it. We have a 500-year-old experiment with colonization. We have a 500-year-old experiment with genocide. We have at least a 500-year-old experiment with land theft. Stop acting like you're starting right now. We have a history of this, so when people say, well, we should do that, we've been doing that. And it's currently still killing people. Currently, right now, I'm going to die 10 years earlier than you. And that ain't because I eat pork. The stress of this shit withers my brain architecture. The stress of this shit withers my musculoskeletal system. The stress of this shit withers my reproductive system. And there are bodies on this planet that don't know what the fuck I'm talking about when I say that. That have the luxury of leisure in ways that I don't. DEI ain't gonna touch that shit. It was never made to touch that. It was never made to do anything but have white folks stay in the room long enough to hear glossary terms. But notice how much that shit went out the room when I just said white bodies over there, bodies of culture over here. That's all I said. I didn't take your money. I didn't do anything. I just said white bodies over there, and you knew what I meant. Right? You knew what I meant. Stop acting like you don't know what people mean when they say shit. That this shit is killing them. And you go, well, you should take a vacation. Your PTO, you know how much PTO you got? You knew what I meant when I said bodies of culture over here. Visibly melanated bodies over here. Some of y'all got stuck. And you was like, where do I fucking go? I don't feel like I belong. Stay with that. If you are in a white body, this structure is built around your advantage. I didn't create this shit. This is not about privilege. This is not about privilege. This is not about white privilege. It's about advantage. That's different. Privilege, you can use it or not use it. Advantage, you just got it. And white bodies as a collective don't know how to deal with that. You haven't even talked about it. You go to privilege. I realize I have white privilege. And bodies of culture are like, what? Like, here's another one. I'm going to say one more and then I'm going to give you all the mic. Actually, I'm not. I just lost it. I'm old as shit. Anyway, I was going to. You get over 58 years old, man, you start struggling. Anyway, who wants to go? Just like, what did you notice? What showed up? What surprised you?
Thank you. Hold on. It's not. Is it on now?
Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Kiko, would you? Yeah. This, I just met her again. It's been about 10 years, a decade. She was my professor in my integrated processing systems class. Okay? So we did this. That was then. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm saying that because while I went through that, I'm still feeling in my gut colonization. Mm-hmm. I was angry for a different reason. And maybe you can help me. I was going to ask you this in the last session. Our group all experienced confusion for different reasons. They experienced confusion because...
No, stop.
Okay.
Just you.
To me, okay. My confusion was I have been on this planet all my life experiencing racism, the impact of it, the oppression, everything. And I'm over there and I'm looking over at the white group and I can't stop looking at you and the pain. And I'm experiencing my own pain, but I'm colonized to feel sorry for you. That I want to come over.
And I'll tell you why I'm pausing. Just hold it, just for a moment. Sometimes we say stuff and we need to pause to work with the weight of what you just said. So just let us hold that for a second. I'm here with you. here with you. Some things we're not supposed to hold individually. What happened to you, sibling, did not just happen individually, it also happened communally. So when that pain shows up, sometimes we only try and hold it individually. And what I want to tell you is you're not crazy. You're not crazy. What you think is happening is actually happening. The weight of that seems bigger. It is because it's 500 years of weight. That's why I keep saying to you, I'm here with you. I'm here with you. I'm here with you. You're not defective. What you think is happening is actually happening. And I'm here with you. I'm right here. I'm right here. I'm right here. You're not, yeah, right there. Right there. Yeah, it's all right. And I'm going to ask you to open your eyes just a little bit, because sometimes when we're dealing with this level of charge, we close our eyes and we go in too deep, too fast. Yeah, right there. I'm going to just ask you just to widen your legs, widen your stance just a little bit on your legs. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful touch, beautiful breath, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful. What the fuck you think is happening is actually happening. The pull, for most of our history, the white body has had full and unfettered access to every idea and orifice of our bodies. We have been taught to be deferential to white bodies at the expense of our own bodies. That is a 500-year-old pass down. The pull to take care of white bodies is literally a protective response. It is not a defective response. It is protective. You don't even know why you do it. It's not crazy. It's part of the structure. That's why I say it's not an event. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't want you to be exposed anymore. I want you to have a seat. Do you understand what I'm saying? This shit is wrapped up in it. My very survival has been dependent, and I come from people whose very survival has depended on me being deferential to you. And you don't even know it's happening. You fucking think it's nice. You think it's nice. It is a trauma response that's got passed down and is decontextualized to the point that you think is nice. And it weathers me. And I have not tended to it. Because I'm trying to survive this shit. I can't experience all of that right now. I'm going to say one more thing to y'all as therapists. When you're dealing with black bodies and visibly melanated bodies in this structure that's predicated on the white body being the standard, stop always genuflecting to there's anger and rage issues. Let me tell you what you've couched in your European understanding, in your European training of energetics and black people. You've couched, not you in particular. It could be my partner I'm sitting with, and I don't know why I want to wipe her off the planet. And I think I'm the only one that's having that thought. Annihilation is what we have been steeped in, particularly in this country. The annihilation of the indigenous, the annihilation of peoples is what this country was born in. And you mean that, and we haven't even tended to that. This country was born in annihilation. How do you think you get fucking free land? That's annihilation. We've ingested that at the tip of with a gun, through rape, through brutalization. So when it shows up in sibling, and she doesn't have any context for it and it hasn't been tended to, she thinks something's wrong with her. And you work with clients and you go, oh, it's rage issues. You have no fucking idea. It's annihilation energy that's showing up, and you're couching it as rage or anger. We've all been trained in this bullshit. So when it shows up, and you think you're nice in your office, you haven't even done your own shit. Am I making sense here? I'm not talking about therapy. I'm talking about liberation. That's what she's saying. She ain't saying cure me. She ain't saying remedy. She ain't saying heal me. She's saying, I don't know what the fuck this is, and I think it's me. And it ain't only her. Anytime you're working with visibly melanated bodies, you are working with historical, intergenerational, persistent institutional, and personal energetics all at the same time. That's why they don't want to fucking talk to you about it. It's because it's overwhelming. If you come from a people who were put in cages, they don't know how to talk to you about it because they're dealing with the historical, the intergenerational, the persistent institutional, and the personal stuff all dovetailed together in the 500-year-old way to that. Do you all understand what I'm saying? And you want to say is anger. And that's why they don't trust you. That's why your clients don't trust you, because when you say it, they go, yeah, it might be something, but that ain't it. And you keep saying, no, you need to read this book on anger. I got a workbook. Have you seen the workbook on anger? And that's why they don't pay you. That's why they don't pay you. Is this making sense, y'all? We literally are going to have to create a different way of doing this work. It is not therapy. It is not just healing. It is liberation work. And y'all ain't ready. You got to get ready. I don't care how old you are. I don't care who you marched with. I don't care who you went to school with. I don't care who you fucking. I don't care about any of that. Am I making sense? That shit is so irrelevant. The reason why I have this keffiyeh on is that I know what it's like to have your land stolen. I know what it's like to be a second-class citizen. I know what it's like to have your fucking water cut off. I come from people who had to flee. Any oppressed people I'm rocking with. If you don't tend to your oppression, though, you will emulate your oppressor. It's called a victim-perpetrator interaction pattern. It's not new. People who have been brutalized, especially if you have been through something like the Holocaust, you learn both the victim side and the perpetrator side. That's the piece. That's the underbelly we never talk about. When you are victimized, you learn both pieces. Anybody that's been in where your daddy or your mama was beating on people, and you say, I'm never going to do it, and then you find yourself whooping people's asses, you've learned both. And we never tend to that. And then over time, it becomes decontextualized and then lines up with your righteous fury. And then you can't see it. Slow this shit down. Nibble. Come back to it. Get other bodies that you can do it with to witness you, to observe you, for you to share and hold it, not to fix, not to remedy. It's going to take generations. If white body supremacy stopped today, let's say they came up with a little pill and everybody could take it and it stopped today. Because of all of the energetics that have gone on before then, it's going to take at least another 300 years before our bodies even know that we are all right. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because of the energetic load of what has gone on, it's going to take at least 300 years before our bodies can even go, okay. But if we're not conditioning right now, even if it happened, we wouldn't know what to do with it. What time we got? Okay. Who else? Anybody else? I might have scared the shit out of y'all. Okay.
You can hear me?
Tap it. All right, go.
So I ended up on this side of the room, and at one point I thought you said if you felt the need, you could cross to the other side. So I started to move towards the front, and then I realized you weren't going to let me cross to the other side.
I was not going to let you do shit. If you would have walked your narrow ass over there and do that, they'd have handled it. I ain't got to.
Well, because
Not me.
I was looking into the faces of people, and I wanted to throw up because they were people.
Pause. Pause.
I know.
Pause. No, not I know. I ask you to pause. Pause.
Pause.
White folks?
I know.
No, don't I know. Just relax. It's going to be all right. Notice. What are you noticing? I'm not telling you to say anything. You're noticing something right now when you're watching your brethren do this. Just notice. Notice what clams up. Notice what wants to move. Notice what you shut down. Just notice. Notice if you think that I'm being an asshole, right? And that I'm being unreasonable. Just notice. This is the stuff that has to be tended to. This is the stuff that has to be tended to. Not by me. Not by me. You have to develop the muscles to tend to some of this stuff. There's something that's percolating. You're sensing something. Right?
So yes, I wanted to throw up, And I felt bad, and my stomach hurt, and I tightened up, and then I just stood my ground. And then I didn't know what to do.
That's it. That's it.
I didn't know what to do.
Let me get that. Let me get that. Thank you. That's the place to start. You come back to it again. When you say you don't know what to do, you get the fuck away from it. And then when you get someplace, you come back to it again. You write on it. You scribe on it. You call somebody. You talk about it. And then you keep coming back to it for the rest of your fucking life. You develop the rhythm to come back to. I don't know what to do. Stay there. Let the quaking happen. Let the gnawing happen. Let you wake up in the middle of the night. Let the image happen. Let the imagination. Do you guys understand what I mean? And then sit on the edge of your bed and let shit move. Not remedy. I don't have a remedy for you. I don't have do this, turn around 4 times. Like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Like, I don't, like, that's not what it is. It's come back to it, return over and over and over again. And here's the wild shit, and I'm talking to white bodies. If you don't do it, nothing will happen. This is when I say that white body supremacy is seductive and feral, this is what I'm talking about. White bodies will never have any responsibility to grow culture until they develop responsibility to grow culture. The responsibility happens on the other side when you start to practice it around race specifically. If you don't do it, you will suffer no consequences. That's the seductive pieces. You only will deal with consequences when you start to do it. That's why you don't fucking do it. Let's not, at least in here, you could, like, once we leave, then you can go back to, well, yeah. Right? But at least in here, let's act like, yeah, we know we've been fucking around. Like, we know the game. We know what it is. At least for this moment in time. Once y'all leave out of here, you can go back to, how's it going? Like, I don't know how like, once you leave here, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do, right? But in here, let's at least act like, yeah, we know the game. We know when our throats tighten up and we don't know what the fuck to say, we don't have to do anything. We can keep it moving and suffer no consequences for never having to figure that out and work with it communally. At least in here, let's say that. How many minutes? Oh, shit. Where'd she go? Okay. All right.
The part that this surprised me was when you asked the question, when did you leave the room?
Yeah.
And I realized I left the room when I got to the Marriott. So when we were walking around, it's hard to measure if there was more or less discomfort. I know what my tendency was. I was walking around trying to find people that I would feel more comfortable with. And when you divided the room, I was relieved. But I've been noticing a lot lately. I leave the room all the time, at the airport, in the cab ride, trying to understand why the driver wouldn't give me a ride, trying to understand why the 2 cabs after that passed. Yeah, I leave the room all the time. Like, that's where the safety is.
That's it. Can I say one thing to you, brother? Look at me. You are not defective. The fuck you think is happening is actually happening. You are not defective. You are not. You are not. This structure has been predicated on a pigmentocracy. You were born into it. You are not defective. You are not. You are not. You have never been. You were born into a structure where the white body deems and has deemed itself the supreme standard by which all bodies' humanity shall be measured structurally and philosophically. You are not defective. What the fuck you think is happening is happening. Good breath. And we don't even know we need to fucking hear this. We don't even know we need to hear it. But because we are born into this structure, we need to hear it. You need to hear a visibly melanated body say that to you. For room, not remedy. You're not crazy. Protecting yourself, leaving the room is not defective. You're not fucking crazy. You're not. I don't give a fuck what your mama said. I don't give a fuck what your uncle said. I don't give a fuck what other people in your kin see. I don't give a fuck. You are not crazy. What you think is happening, you think that these motherfuckers set up a structure based on whether or not your skin was darker or lighter, or you're right. A whole structure, an educational structure, an economic structure, a military structure was set up as species, and you didn't rank. It's not the truth. But this is what I say about reclaiming our generosity and stuff like that. But we have to tend to this shit. It's brutal. And if you're not doing something to address the brutality every day, you will think it's something fucking wrong with you. You're not defective. I love you, man. You're not defective. This is why I say my work is not therapeutic work. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. This is about liberation, period. And if you can bring liberation to your work, cool. But it ain't gonna be because you do it by yourself or you figure something out. Are y'all tracking what I'm saying? If the agency that you work for is too fucking small, do inside out. Get your motherfucking paper. Get your motherfucking paper. And build something that your people can use on the outside of that shit. Stop trying to squeeze your motherfucking genius into that bullshit. Act like it's bullshit. And that's where you're going to send your kids to school. That's where you're going to get your paper. Get your paper. I'm serious. Get your motherfucking paper and create something that's more sustainable for you. Stop trying to squeeze your creative. You are bigger than that fucking organization. Your genius, who you come from, the shit that's been imparted into you for fucking eons. You trying to get them to understand, well, if we just did this over here and we could make it, then we could get more black people to come in and do this. And then they go, nah, and you go, fuck, man. I feel like I'm gonna die in this motherfucker. That's because you keep trying to retrofit your genius into a structure that hasn't known what to do with you ever. Ever. They don't know what to do with you. They have never held your heart the way your heart's supposed to be. They have never held your people's heart the way that your people are supposed to have their hearts held. Do you understand what I mean? They have never known how to do that. This structure has never known how to do that. And here you go with your motherfucking genius. Act like what they're doing. Talk to other people that look like you about it. Talk to them. Do you think, and get witnessed. Nibble on this shit. Love y'all. See y'all later. I'm tired.